Many women spend years believing that every thought in their mind is telling them the truth. A small mistake feels like proof that they are not good enough. One unanswered message feels like rejection. One bad day feels like life is falling apart. The mind creates stories so quickly that after a while, those stories begin to feel like facts. But one of the most powerful lessons emotionally intelligent women learn is this: not every thought deserves to be believed. Imagine standing beside a busy road. Hundreds of cars pass every minute. You notice them, but you do not chase every single one. Thoughts work in a very similar way. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. Some are helpful, some are creative, some remind you of important things. But many are simply worries, fears, old memories, or assumptions. The problem begins when we treat every thought as if it is a command or a prediction. For example, you make one small mistake at work. Immediately, your mind says, "Everyone must think I'm incompetent." Someone you care about replies hours later than usual, and your mind says, "They're upset with me." You compare yourself to someone online and suddenly think, "I'm falling behind in life." These thoughts can feel convincing, but feelings are not always evidence. Emotionally intelligent women learn to pause before accepting a thought as true. A helpful habit is to ask simple questions. Do I know this for sure? Is there another explanation? What evidence do I actually have? These questions don't erase difficult emotions, but they create enough space to respond instead of react. Often, you'll find that your first interpretation was only one possibility among many. This doesn't mean ignoring real problems. It means separating facts from assumptions. If there is a problem, you can deal with it more effectively when you aren't also carrying stories your mind invented. Over time, this habit builds confidence because you stop being pushed around by every anxious thought that appears. Another important shift is understanding that your mind's job is often to look for potential problems. From an evolutionary perspective, our brains became very good at spotting danger. Today, that same tendency can make everyday situations feel much more threatening than they really are. Recognizing this doesn't make worries disappear overnight, but it can help you relate to them differently. Emotionally intelligent women also learn that emotions are valuable signals, but they don't always tell the full story. Feeling nervous doesn't necessarily mean you're in danger. Feeling uncertain doesn't necessarily mean you're making the wrong choice. Sometimes emotions reflect stress, lack of sleep, or a difficult day rather than the reality of the situation. When emotions run high, reacting immediately can make things worse. Sending an angry message, making an impulsive decision, or assuming the worst may bring temporary relief, but often creates new problems. A calmer approach is to pause. Take a few slow breaths. If possible, give yourself a little time before responding. That short pause often changes the outcome of a conversation or a decision. As you practice this, you'll notice something encouraging. You don't have to eliminate every negative thought or emotion to live well. The goal isn't to have a perfectly quiet mind. The goal is to become someone who can notice thoughts and feelings without letting them control every action. Another source of stress for many women is the pressure to keep everyone else happy. Wanting to help others is a strength, but when it turns into saying yes to everything, ignoring your own needs, or fearing that people will be disappointed, it can become exhausting. Constant people-pleasing often leads to resentment, burnout, and the feeling that your own life is slipping away. Emotionally intelligent women realize that being kind does not require sacrificing themselves. Healthy relationships include respect for both people. Sometimes saying no is not selfish, it is honest. Sometimes resting is not laziness, it is necessary. Sometimes asking for help is not weakness, it is wisdom. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to putting others first. You might worry that people will think you've changed. In a way, they are right. You are changing. You're learning to care for others, without abandoning yourself. The people who truly value you will usually adjust over time, even if they need a little while to get used to your new boundaries. A simple way to begin is to pause before automatically agreeing to every request. Instead of saying yes immediately, try saying, "Let me check my schedule," or "I'll think about it and get back to you." This gives you time to decide based on your priorities rather than pressure. Remember that you cannot control how everyone feels about your decisions. You can control whether your choices reflect your values. Trying to earn everyone's approval is an impossible goal because different people expect different things. Living according to your values is far more sustainable than living according to everyone's expectations. As you become more aware of your thoughts, more intentional with your emotions, and more confident in your boundaries, you may notice a gradual change. Challenges don't disappear, but they often feel more manageable. You spend less time fighting imagined problems and more time focusing on what you can actually influence. That's a practical form of emotional intelligence, not never feeling stress, but learning healthier ways to respond to it. Real change usually happens through consistent practice, rather than a single moment of inspiration. Some days you'll catch yourself overthinking again. Some days you'll react before you've had time to pause. Some days you'll say yes when you wanted to say no. That's okay. Progress isn't about perfection. It's about noticing, learning, and trying again. Every small step counts. Each time you question an unhelpful thought, pause before reacting, or protect your time with a healthy boundary, you're strengthening skills that can support your well-being over the long term. Over weeks and months, those small choices add up, helping you feel steadier, more confident, and better equipped to handle life's ups and downs. Many of us spend a huge part of our lives fighting battles that were never ours to win. We try to control what other people think about us. We replay conversations that already happened. We worry about situations that have not even happened yet. We hold on to old mistakes, hoping that thinking about them one more time will somehow change the past. But no matter how hard we try, there are some things that will always remain outside our control. The more we fight against this truth, the more tired we become. Emotionally intelligent women understand something that changes the way they live. They know that peace begins the moment you stop trying to control everything. This does not mean giving up. It does not mean becoming careless or refusing to take responsibility. It simply means learning the difference between what you can change and what you cannot. Think about the weather. If it rains on the day you planned a picnic, you may feel disappointed, but getting angry at the rain will not stop it. Instead, you adjust your plans. Life works in a very similar way. Some situations cannot be changed, but your response can always be improved. Many women lose their energy trying to change people who have no desire to change. They keep explaining themselves again and again. They keep trying to make everyone understand their intentions. They keep hoping that one more conversation will finally make someone appreciate them. Sometimes that happens, but many times it does not. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting that you cannot force someone to respect you, love you, understand you, or value you. You can communicate honestly. You can treat people with kindness. You can set healthy boundaries. But after that, their choices belong to them, not to you. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack every single day. At first, you get used to the weight. After a while, you forget how heavy it really is because you have carried it for so long. That backpack is like emotional baggage. Old disappointments, guilt, regrets, and resentment slowly become part of your daily life. You may not even notice how much they are affecting your happiness. Letting go does not mean pretending nothing happened. It does not mean saying the pain was acceptable. It simply means deciding that you will no longer allow yesterday to control today. There are people who made mistakes years ago, but they still punish themselves every single day. They keep thinking, if only I had made a different decision. But the past cannot hear your apologies anymore. The only place where healing can happen is in the present. Forgiving yourself is sometimes harder than forgiving others. We expect perfection from ourselves. We believe we should have known better. But remember this. Every decision you made was based on what you knew, what you felt, and what you understood at that moment. Today you know more. That is growth, not failure. Life teaches lessons through experience, not through perfection. The same is true when someone hurts you. Holding on to anger may feel like justice, but often it hurts you more than the other person. Anger keeps your mind busy. It steals your sleep. It follows you into new relationships. It makes every happy moment a little less bright. Forgiveness does not always mean becoming friends again. Sometimes forgiveness simply means deciding that you deserve peace more than revenge. It means refusing to let someone who hurt you continue controlling your emotions. Emotionally intelligent women learn to ask themselves one simple question whenever they feel overwhelmed. Can I control this? If the answer is yes, then they focus on action. If the answer is no, then they focus on acceptance. That one question saves an incredible amount of emotional energy. Now think about your daily routine. How does your morning begin? For many people, it begins with stress. They wake up and immediately check their phone, emails, messages, social media, news. Before they even get out of bed, their mind is already full of other people's opinions, problems, and expectations. Then they wonder why they feel anxious all day. Emotionally intelligent women understand that the first few minutes of the day shape the rest of the day. Instead of allowing the outside world to control their mood, they create small habits that help them feel calm and focused. These habits do not need to be complicated. Sometimes it is simply drinking a glass of water before checking the phone. Sometimes it is opening the window and taking a few slow breaths. Sometimes it is sitting quietly for 5 minutes before beginning the day's responsibilities. Sometimes it is writing down 3 things they are thankful for. These tiny actions may seem small, but small actions repeated every day create big changes over time. Think about brushing your teeth. One day of brushing does not make a huge difference, but doing it every day protects your teeth for years. Mental habits work exactly the same way. Many people wait until they feel completely overwhelmed before they start taking care of themselves. Emotionally intelligent women do the opposite. They take care of themselves before they completely run out of energy. Rest is not something you earn only after becoming exhausted. Rest is something that helps prevent exhaustion in the first place. Another powerful daily habit is learning to speak kindly to yourself. Pay attention to your inner voice. Would you speak to your best friend the same way you sometimes speak to yourself? Probably not. Many women say things to themselves that they would never say to another person. I'm not good enough. I always fail. I can't do anything right. I'm too late. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not beautiful enough. These words slowly become beliefs. Your mind listens to every sentence you repeat. Instead of speaking with constant criticism, try replacing those thoughts with something more balanced. I'm still learning. I made a mistake, but I can improve. This challenge does not define me. I have handled difficult days before. I can take one step at a time. Notice that these statements are not unrealistic. They are simply more supportive and truthful. Your relationship with yourself affects every other relationship in your life. Another daily habit that protects emotional health is creating moments without noise. Our world is constantly demanding attention. Notifications, videos, music, conversations, news, advertisements. There is almost never silence. But silence allows your mind to recover. Even 10 quiet minutes each day can help you notice thoughts without feeling controlled by them. You begin hearing your own voice instead of everyone else's. Emotionally intelligent women also understand the importance of taking care of their bodies. The mind and body are connected. When you sleep well, your patience improves. When you move your body regularly, your mood often improves. When you stay hydrated and eat nourishing foods, your energy becomes more stable. These habits are not about becoming perfect. They are about giving yourself the best chance to feel emotionally balanced. You do not need a perfect morning routine. You do not need expensive products. You do not need hours of free time. You simply need consistency. 5 good minutes every day are often more powerful than 1 perfect day every month. Now let's talk about something even deeper: purpose. Many people believe happiness comes from having a perfect life, but emotionally intelligent women discover that happiness often comes from having a meaningful direction. Life will never be free from problems. There will always be unexpected challenges. There will always be moments of uncertainty. But when you know why you wake up each morning, those challenges become easier to face. Purpose does not have to be something huge. It does not have to mean becoming famous or changing the entire world. Your purpose might be raising your family with love, helping people through your work, learning new skills, creating beautiful art, supporting your community, growing into the strongest version of yourself. Purpose gives difficult days meaning. Without purpose, even small problems feel overwhelming. With purpose, even difficult seasons become opportunities to grow. Fear often tries to stop us from following that purpose. Fear says, "What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm not ready?" But emotionally intelligent women ask different questions. What if I succeed? What if this opportunity changes my life? What if I'm stronger than I think? What if taking one small step today leads somewhere beautiful tomorrow? Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward even when fear is present. Think about every successful person you admire. None of them lived without fear. They simply refuse to let fear make every decision. Every meaningful journey begins with one small action, one phone call, one application, one conversation, one decision, one step. Waiting until you feel completely confident often means waiting forever. Confidence usually grows after action, not before it. Another important truth is that comparing yourself with others steals your joy. Someone will always have more money. Someone will always look different. Someone will always seem more successful. If comparison becomes your habit, happiness will always stay just out of reach. Instead of asking, "Why am I not like her?" ask yourself, "Am I becoming a better version of myself than I was yesterday?" That is the only comparison that truly matters. Life is not a race against other people. It is a journey of becoming who you are capable of being. At the end of the day, emotional intelligence is not about never feeling stressed, worried, or emotional. Those feelings are part of being human. Emotional intelligence is about noticing those feelings, understanding them, and choosing your response with wisdom instead of impulse. It is about letting go of what cannot be changed, building simple daily habits that support your well-being, and living with purpose rather than allowing fear to make every decision. You will still face difficult days. You will still have moments when you overthink or feel uncertain. That does not mean you have failed. It means you are human. What matters is that you keep returning to these simple principles. Focus on what you can control. Care for your mind and body through small daily habits. Keep moving toward a life that reflects your values and purpose. With every small choice, you become a little calmer, a little stronger, and a little wiser. Those small changes may not transform your life overnight, but over time, they can shape a life that feels more peaceful, more meaningful, and more resilient. That is the quiet strength of emotional intelligence. And it is something you can continue building one day, one decision, and one step at a time.